everybody back?
Defense is back and ready.
The plaintiff is present and ready to proceed.
We have everyone back, I think we do.
Yeah.
All right, perfect, then let's get going.
The plaintiff calls Miss Elizabeth Bully to the stand. Good afternoon. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Elizabeth Bully.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a painter.
Who is Tristan Nichols to you?
Legally my husband, CEO of the Nichols Group. I don't know, what else do you want me to say?
Let's start with, how did the two of you meet?
By accident. I was a waitress at a gala for his family. Spilled some champagne on a guest. He came over to calm everyone down. He found me later and he asked me why I let the guest talk to me that way. I told him that they call us starving artists for a reason and I couldn't exactly afford to lose the job.
How did Tristan respond?
He just looked at me kind of funny, and then he held out his hand, so I took it, and he dragged me over to this Jackson Pollock they were auctioning off. He asked me how much it was worth, and I laughed in his face, because he has appraisers for that. He said that he didn't want appraisers, he wanted a real artist.
Did you ever see Tristan Nichols again after that gala?
I didn't think that I would, but I was teaching classes at the community center, Still Lifes, and I guess his family had invested in their new construction, so he came by to check it out, ran into me and asked me for coffee. It was a weekly thing after that, but we were just friends then.
What changed?
One day Tristan showed up looking nervous. He said that he'd had this idea, something where we could both get what we wanted. He said that if we fake dated for the public, then he would please his family and I would get more attention for my art.
Did you agree?
Yes.
Why?
Tristan's family had the kind of connections that I had been trying to make for years. If all I had to do was hold his hand in fancy restaurants, then why not?
Is that what it was? Holding his hand in fancy restaurants?
And at the MoMA, and at movie premieres and ribbon cuttings. I mean, for months, everything was a photo op. But then we had this gallery opening. I could tell he didn't feel well. He gets this little crease between his eyebrows when his head hurts, and he was flinching every time bulbs went off. So I told everyone that I had had a creative epiphany, and I had to go to the studio. So I took him to a park instead. He never let go of my hand.
Were you in love?
I was, and I was terrified. That wasn't what he'd signed up for. He was looking for a business partner, and I wasn't holding up my end of the deal. So I tried to break it off. I told him that I loved him for months, and that I was sorry because it wasn't what he'd signed up for.
How did Tristan respond when you told him you loved him?
He leaned in, and he put his hand on my cheek. He said that he loved how honest I was. That he loved how his jacket smelled like my perfume after I'd borrow it, and how I could never finish a movie without trying to guess the end. He told me that he loved me, and I believed him.
Who proposed?
Tristan. We'd already agreed to get married months ago, but in July he said that we had this picnic date, and I didn't remember it, so I was scrambling, and then when I finally showed up to the park, he'd filled an entire clearing with flowers. And he was on one knee. I think I said yes before he even got out of question.
Let's talk about married life. We'll start with your finances. Did the two of you share everything?
I thought we did. We made financial disclosures to each other before we got married. I've never really had enough money to have to worry about that before. But Tristan promised me no secrets, so I trusted him.
Did Tristan ever tell you about something called Secret Garden LLC?
No. I had heard other people mention it, but I trusted him so much. I figured if it was something important, he would say something about it. And even if I had tried to look into it, I never went to college. I didn't understand half of what these people were saying before. I don't think I would have been able to find it by myself.
You told us earlier that you trusted Mr. Nichols. Did that ever change?
In late 2024, he stopped telling me where he was going on trips. He started locking his phone when he was at home. I knew that something wasn't right.
Objection, Your Honor. False for speculation.
Response.
Your Honor, Rule 602 says that evidence is admissible if it has the required foundation, that the evidence has been laid, that the witness has the personal knowledge to testify to it. Ms. Bully just testified that she was Mr. Nichols' wife. They shared a home. They were in love. That's the required personal knowledge. This is admissible.
Response, Your Honor.
Yes.
She's able to testify to all of the things that she saw or heard, not to how he's feeling or not to what was and wasn't wrong. She's not able to make that bridge. That's speculation.
Response.
Your Honor, as to whether or not something was wrong, she's just said that he started locking his phone. He'd changed his behavior. He'd stopped telling her when he was going on trips and what those trips were for. What she said was that something was wrong. She can testify to whether or not something was wrong in their relationship. I think any of us with that knowledge could do that.
And can you remember what the question and answer specifically was that we're talking about?
We don't have the benefit of a court reporter, but I asked Ms. Bully if her trust in Mr. Nichols had ever changed. She said in late 2024, he started taking trips. He stopped telling her what those trips were for. He started locking her phone. Something was wrong.
I'm going to overrule the objection.
Ms. Bully told us something was wrong.
It was like these walls had gone up, and I knew that something wasn't right, but I convinced myself that I was wrong for not trusting him.
Were you wrong?
There was a gala this last New Year's. Tristan came late. We had some stupid fight. I can't even remember what it was about now, and then I didn't see him until it was time to go home.
What happened when the two of you got home?
Tristan hung up his coat and headed for the stairs. I went to check his pockets because he always left his keys in his pockets, and I found a key card for a suite at the hotel where the gala was.
What did you do after you found that key card in Mr. Nichols' pocket?
I put it in my purse and I went upstairs. I got into bed and I realized that he smelled like jasmine. I don't own jasmine perfume, so I couldn't sleep. I went back to the hotel and I asked them who the key card was registered to. I don't think they were supposed to tell me, but I was Tristan Nichols' wife, so I got what I wanted.
Objection, Your Honor, to hearsay.
Hearsay as to what specifically?
The statements of the people working at the hotel who said who that key card belonged to believe they're using that for the truth of the matter asserted.
Response, Your Honor? The statement on the record right now is just Ms. Bully's question to those hotel workers. Who does this key card belong to? That's a question. There's no truth value asserted in it, and so it's admissible. It's not hearsay.
Response, Your Honor?
Yes.
The witness went on to say that she got what she wanted. She said affirmatively that she had an answer. It was someone else's key card. sir.
I think the question itself does call for hearsay, so I wanna hear your response for why it's an exclusion or, an exception.
Yes, Your Honor. No, the question itself where Miss Bully is asking, who does this key card belong to? Well, we're not actually using it for the truth of the matter, because the reality is that there hasn't actually been an answer asserted onto the record. Just the question, who does this key card belong to, doesn't assert any truth value. If I were to ask, who does that phone belong to, I'm not asserting that that phone necessarily belongs to anyone. The reality is, we know it's an object that exists. Someone must have had it at some point. There's no truth value asserted, so it's not hearsay, that question.
Your Honor, a hotel key card at a hotel could just be for somebody at the hotel, not for any individual guest. Asserting that it belongs to someone else and the subsequent answer being that it doesn't belong to Mr. Nichols, that is hearsay.
Your Honor, that answer isn't on the record.
I'm gonna overrule your objection right now. If we get into actual hearsay statements, I implore you to be quick, because we can't unring the bell.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Bully, you told us that those hotel assistants were able to answer your question. Who did that key card belong to?
Objection, Your Honor, to hearsay.
Response.
Yes, Your Honor, we're not using this actually, if I could make an offer of proof as to what the statement is going to be, so we can all be on the same page. The statement is going to be that that key card belonged to Gail Melky, a guest at the gala. Now, Your Honor, we're not using this statement for the truth of the matter asserted. In fact, we're willing to offer a limiting instruction to the members of the jury that it not be taken for the truth. Instead, it's for subsequent action. If I may make another offer of proof, Your Honor?
Yes.
Ms. Bully is going to go on to testify that after hearing that that key card belonged to a guest at the gala, someone that she knew from earlier in their marriage, she filed for divorce. That's the subsequent action, it's not hearsay.
Response.
Yes, as Your Honor has already outlined, you can't unring the bell. Once the jury has already heard the hearsay statement, they're allowed to take it however they want. A limiting instruction doesn't do the job here of alleviating the hearsay statement that that key card belonged to somebody else. That is hearsay.
Response, Your Honor?
Yes.
Your Honor, the jury isn't allowed to take that hearsay statement for however they want it to. They're instructed to listen to the judge's instructions. Issuing a limiting instruction to the members of the jury, I believe, would be curative here.
Response to her description that this is exception from hearsay.
Yes, Your Honor, this isn't an exception to hearsay. The statement, it belongs to Gail Melky, doesn't have any implicit exception to hearsay contained within it. It's just a true value statement.
Any response to her argument that it is being used for subsequent action?
Your Honor, we don't believe that the subsequent action has been laid. The fact that she found key card and then filed for divorce, they could just say that. To get into specifically who it belonged to, that moves into hearsay territory.
Your Honor, if I may.
I'm gonna overrule the objection.
Who did that key card belong to?
Gail Melky,
Who is Gail Melky?
the guest I'd spilled champagne on at that very first gala. The girl Tristan dated before me, the one he swore he only saw because of his family, we said drove him crazy. We used to laugh about Gail. He used to tell me every time he saw her the latest wild things she'd done to try and get his attention, and then I realized I hadn't heard about Gail in months.
Did you confront Tristan?
No. I filed the divorce that morning.
Why didn't you confront him?
I was worried I wouldn't be able to go through with it. I convinced myself for months that I was crazy. That Tristan would cheat on me because he loved me. He told me that he loved me. And I love him too, but I can't forgive him for this.
No further questions.
Cross.
Yes, Your Honor. Ma'am, you didn't have much money before you met Mr. Nichols, did you?
No.
a starving artist, right?
Yes,
You had trouble making ends meet.
I did.
Couldn't pay the bills,
No,
couldn't pay the rent at the end of the month.
no.
That's when this man offered you a deal, right?
That's right.
He offered you a way out of that life.
He did.
What he offered you was a contract marriage.
At the beginning, that's all it was.
What he told you was what he wanted was a contract marriage.
Right, and for a while, we were exactly that, but then I don't think either of us expected this.
I understand that you told us your perspective. I just want to make sure that we get his. Because what you told him was you agreed to a contract marriage.
I did.
But here today you're saying it was a loving one.
It started as a contract, and we fell for each other. It wasn't how I planned it.
Man, even though you're saying that that wasn't how you planned it and you fell in love, you still agreed. What you told him was you wanted a contract marriage too.
That was right.
And even though you're saying this is a loving relationship, you don't actually have any text messages in your 4 years of marriage, do you?
Of course we text.
Do you have any of those text messages here today?
No, I could get my phone for you if you'd like.
Ma'am, you understand you brought this lawsuit, right?
Yes,
You had months to prepare exhibits, right?
of course.
Months to prove that you were actually in love with this man, that it wasn't just a contract.
I am.
Before you even heard a defense opening statement, your openers got up here and said that we were going to say this was a contract marriage, right?
That's right.
You didn't bring those texts here today.
No, you could ask Tristan for them. He has the same thread.
Be sure to ask him later, but right now we're talking to you, so I want to make sure we get this straight. You don't have any phone calls either, right?
No, would you like me to get my phone?
Ma'am, you had months to submit exhibits. You elected not to. True?
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative.
Sustained.
You don't have those calls here today. That's all I'm asking.
Not with me right now.
You'd agree that people in loving relationships, they typically have photos together, right?
That's right.
You don't have a single photo that the paparazzi didn't take.
No, I never think about that sort of thing.
You'd agree that people in loving relationships, they're physically affectionate with one another, right?
Of course.
You don't have a photo of you as much as hugging this man.
Tristan knows what we did.
Ma'am, I'm not asking you to guess what he knows. I'm asking if you have a photo of you being physically affectionate at all, and you don't.
No.
Then I want to talk about why we're really here today. Because you'd agree there is quite a bit of money on the line, right?
Yes,
You two, you signed a prenup.
we did.
What that prenup means is if you get divorced, you get to go your separate ways, true?
That's right.
If you get divorced, you get to keep what's yours, that's right.
Yes,
He gets to keep what's his.
that's right.
Ma'am, in your best year as an artist, you made $2.5 million, didn't you?
That's true.
You would get to keep that $2.5 million.
Yes, I think so.
But instead, you're seeking to invalidate the prenup, right?
Because Tristan cheated on me.
Well, let's talk about that, because the way that you learned that was by a rumor of a kiss at a New Year's party. Do I have that right?
That's what people were talking about, but I found the key card and I knew. It belonged to Gail, it belonged to someone he used to see, and the trust was gone.
Ma'am, you'd agree that you both had a gala at that hotel, right?
We did. We didn't stay there together. We were just there for the.
You'd agree that you both had a gala at the hotel. That's all I'm asking. I'm just looking for a yes or no.
Yes, I was just there for the party.
Having a key card for a hotel that you're having a gala at, it's not out of the usual.
We weren't going into the rooms.
You certainly went into a room to host the gala, didn't you?
It's the ballroom.
You
don't.
have to get in and out of the front door, don't you, ma'am?
Objection, Your Honor. I ask that Ms. Believe be allowed to finish her answers.
I do ask that you allow the witness to finish her answers.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sustained.
You have to get in and out of the ballroom, don't you, ma'am?
The gala was in the ballroom. The doors were open. They had a guest list at the front.
You have to get in and out of the front door, don't you?
The doorman unlocked it for me. We didn't have keys to the hotel.
Okay. Let's live in your world. Let's say you found the key card.
Objection, argumentative.
Sustained.
You find the key card, right?
Yes,
The very next day, you file the lawsuit.
that's right.
You had that lawsuit prepared, didn't you?
I talked to my lawyers about divorcing Tristan when things first got bad. I didn't want to believe it, but I felt like I had to do something to protect myself. The paperwork was just sitting there, so I went and I filed it.
You talked to your lawyers 3 months before you found that key card.
Yes.
You talked to your lawyers about that infidelity clause, didn't you?
Objection, as to hearsay.
As to what this witness told her attorneys,
The conversation between the two parties.
do you believe that any of the conversation will get into comments not made by her?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, if it gets into that, I implore you to erase your objection, but for now, overruled.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
You talked to your lawyers about that infidelity clause, right?
I was afraid for so long. And the key card was the final straw.
3 months before you found the key card, you were already asking about an infidelity clause, weren't you?
Yes.
You understand that if you win today, you could be looking at $3 billion.
Yes.
That's a whole lot more than you ever got when you were doing art, right, man?
A whole lot more than I ever wanted. Just. Yes.
Nothing further.
Any regret?
No redirect, Your Honor. May Ms. Foley be excused.
She may be.
Your Honor, may we call our next witness?
Yes.
The defense calls Tristan Nichols to the stand.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Could you please introduce yourself?
Sure can. Hi there. My name is Tristan Nichols.
Mr. Nichols, where are you from?
Well, right here. Born and raised, not but 30 minutes east of the metro.
And what do you do for a living?
Well, I am the CEO of the Nichols Group.
What's that?
Well, we're one of the largest food conglomerates in the world. It started by my grandfather. He and his brothers, they all had farms, started selling to grocery stores, and it just blew up. You know, bigger than anything my family could have imagined.
How did you end up working for the Nichols Group?
I guess it was always kind of expected of me. You know, I was the oldest, but I didn't always act like it. I was the classic spoiled rich kid, but, you know, I had a wake-up call. My mother, she had a pretty big health scare, and I needed to be more serious. So I stepped in, I took over as VP of Finance.
How'd you go from VP to CEO?
You know, that one was a tougher sell, for sure. Yeah, my mother wasn't quite convinced I could handle it. You know, all the partying and dating around didn't help either. She needed to know that I was serious. And she said that if I wanted to become CEO, I needed to settle down, start a family. I had to get married.
How did you react to that?
Not great. You know, admittedly, I was upset. I put a lot of work into myself, but it didn't matter. You know, I can't blame her though. I knew what I had to do. If I was to be CEO, I was gonna get married.
So is that how you got involved with the plaintiff?
Yes, sir. It is.
When did you meet?
You know, we were hosting this gala back in December of 2021, and Elizabeth, She was a server, spilled some champagne on my date, and she just went ballistic. You know, started screaming at her, so I stepped in. I tried to apologize, and I felt bad. And after that, we just started talking, and it picked up from there.
What would you two talk about?
Well, I would complain about my partner at the time. Yeah. She was blurring the lines of our arrangement, and I would tell Eli about it.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, one day we were sitting down at lunch, and I was telling her how she was making it difficult for me, and then that's when she said, well, why don't we fake date instead? And I was shocked. But eventually we talked it over, how to be good for her art career, and she said yes.
So to be clear, it was the plaintiff who suggested fake dating?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, when you started that arrangement, how often did you see each other?
Oh. God, couldn't have been more than twice a month, maybe.
And what was that like?
It was exactly like I told her. You know, I took her with me to all the galas. I introduced her to, you know, gallery owners with deep pockets, even got her a piece or two in the Blatant down the road. For me, I was making good press.
Sir, if it was going so well, why get married?
Because it's what I had to do. And it wasn't going to change anything. You know, she still had her life, I still had mine.
So was the relationship between you and the plaintiff real?
No. And I know that sounds cold. It wasn't a relationship in the traditional sense. I was there to help her out with her art career. She was there to make me look serious. That I was ready to become CEO, and that's what we did.
I want to give you a chance to respond to some of the plaintiff's allegations.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
You heard earlier about your proposal full of flowers. Why do all that if this was all just a contract?
Because I'm not a bad person. You know, I know that this arrangement wasn't exactly easy for either of us. And I mean, I had the money. I figured I'd buy her what she wanted.
Okay, well, were you here when the plaintiff's attorney said you hid assets?
Yeah, I was.
Did you?
No, of course not. I mean, sitting here today, it doesn't even sound like I had to disclose everything, but I did.
What about Secret Garden? You heard about that earlier.
What about it? You know, I know of it, of course, but I didn't own it. It was for my personal assistant, a gift, a retirement account of sorts. I mean, she had been assigned to me since birth by my mother. It was the least I could do.
We heard about a bungalow and money in Switzerland. What do you know about that?
Well, the $10 million, that was a blind trust for medical research. Turned out that my mother's health scare was only the beginning. Yeah, they found a tumor. And it was cancerous. And the Swiss, well, they're leaders in oncology. So I figured I'd throw whatever I had at it if it meant that I had a couple more moments with her. And the bungalow, that's just where I stayed.
Now that we know what really happened with that money, I want to talk about how you put this marriage down on paper.
Sure thing.
Can you flip in that binder to Exhibit 1 for me?
Sure. I'm there.
What is Exhibit 1?
This is our prenuptial agreement.
Your Honor, this is pre-dated. Why'd you sign this pre?
My mother. You know, she said when you come into a marriage with as much wealth as I did, you know, you got to do everything you can to make sure it's protected in case someone tries to leave.
And if this was all contractual, why the infidelity clause that's in there?
Same answer. My mother. She needed to know that it was real. And the only way for her to believe that was if I had skin in the game. You know, millions of dollars on the line if I cheated.
Did you?
We both technically did, I guess. I mean, I caught her with her best friend years ago. I knew she was with him. I didn't ask exactly what they did. I didn't care. We both had our separate lives.
So why not divorce?
Because that's not what we agreed to. We agreed that this was fake. I didn't ask.
Bottom line, sir. Would you ever have gotten married if this was anything but a contract?
No. No, I didn't want that. I never thought that she would try and use this against me. You know, this was just business. I kept up my end of the bargain, but I guess that wasn't enough because now she wants to try and come after everything that my family has built, and that's just wrong.
Thank you for your time.
Sure.
Pass it on.
Bless you.
Cross.
Yes, Your Honor. You just called Miss Bully a liar.
No, ma'am, I didn't.
You told us that you weren't in love with her.
That's true.
You told us that your relationship was just business.
Yes, it was. That's what we agreed to.
Mr. Nichols, you describe Miss Bully as the closest person to you in the world.
Of course. You know, we were in that contract marriage for 4 years. You get to know somebody.
She's the person you trust the most in the world.
Sure.
You told us that this relationship was just for business. Tell me, Mr. Nichols, is punching an investor good for business?
I'm sorry?
When the two of you first started dating, an investor was rude to Miss Bully.
That's true.
So you swung at him.
I don't care who you are. You step into my house with my employees, disrespect them, yeah, you're gonna find out.
Hang on. You're saying Miss Bully was an employee?
We were business partners, yes ma'am.
She was your girlfriend at the time.
Contractually, that's right.
That investor, you thought they were going to invest millions of dollars.
I knew it was a possibility, but I don't make business with disrespectful people like that.
So the relationship that you claim was fake and for business. That's why you lost millions of dollars with an investor?
Yes ma'am.
Let's talk about your wedding.
Sure.
At your wedding, you got Miss Bully a gift.
I did.
You know that Miss Bully's parents died when she was young.
That's true.
You know that before they died, they gave her a paint set.
You're right.
It's just a children's toy.
Yeah, it was sold by a toy company.
You know that Miss Bully had since lost that paint set.
That's true. She said that.
So for your wedding, you got Miss Bully a copy of that paint set.
Yeah. My mother thought it'd be a good idea.
You didn't just go to the store and pick one out.
Nope. She said that I needed to get the original one, so that's what I did.
You acquired the original manufacturer of that toy.
Yes, ma'am. Look, I know it sounds like a lot, but Mother gets what Mother wants, and she said that I needed to do that for her.
You personally went to the warehouse where these toys were created all those years ago.
Yeah,
To find it.
I did.
Let's talk about the vows you made.
Sure.
I'm now retrieving what was admitted prior to today's trial pursuant to stipulation 18 as Exhibit 7. You worked hard on these vows.
I did. I wrote it myself.
And in them, you promised Miss Bully, I will not keep a room in my life that you can't walk into. Whatever I am, whatever I have, whatever I've done, you'll know it before anyone else does. Everything I own with you now. And everything I am is yours to see. I'm not marrying you to become anything. I'm marrying you because you're the first real thing I've ever found. That was your promise to your life.
Yes, ma'am. We were in an open marriage. She knew everything I was doing. We signed a prenup, so sweet words, but contractually, legally, we were separate.
Mr. Nichols, you're claiming now today in court that it was an open relationship and that, well, the two of you, it was just for business. Let's talk about why you might be saying that.
Ma'am, I told you that when you put me in a deposition.
You have $3 billion on the line in today's case.
That's true.
It's half of your net worth.
Our joint net worth. That's right.
Half of your shares in your family's company.
Yes, ma'am.
But it's not just money on the line now, is it?
I'm not quite sure what you mean. You're gonna have to be more specific, please.
Mr. Nichols, if you lose this lawsuit, your mother will convene the board of directors.
That's true, yes.
If you lose this lawsuit, your mother will oust you as CEO of the Nichols Group.
I know that might be a possibility.
Hang on. Don't let me put words in your mouth, Mr. Nichols. You don't just know that it's a possibility. You believe that is what will happen.
Yes, ma'am. Like I said, I believe that's a possibility.
Is it your testimony today that you believe it's a possibility?
I believe that it could happen.
You believe that it will happen if you lose this lawsuit, Mr. Nichols. I need a yes or a no.
Yes, ma'am, that's what I've been saying.
I'm glad we're on the same page, Mr. Nichols. You'll do anything to win this lawsuit.
Well, of course.
No further questions.
Any regrets?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Nichols, do you still have a copy of those vows?
Actually, I never got a copy of them.
I can hand it to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
I want to talk about whether or not this relationship was real based on what you wrote here.
Sure.
At the end of the first paragraph there, what are you saying?
I said, that's why you are the only person I ever want to have my name. She never took it.
What about the end of the second paragraph? What do you write there?
Everything I own it with you now, and everything I am is yours to see. We signed a prenup.
And sir, were these vows just a private affair between the two of you?
No, sir. I knew that these were going to be publicized. I mean, it was one of the largest events of the year. I had to be sweet.
Thank you. Nothing further. You can take that back from me now.
Recross, Your Honor?
Do we do recross in this competition? I'm guessing.
I believe there's recross in this jurisdiction.
I believe so.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
just-
understanding as well.
Alright, then
You
yes.
can take it back. Oh. Mr. Nichols, we can agree those vows are public.
Yes, ma'am.
The fight you had with that investor wasn't public.
No, ma'am. It wasn't.
The wedding gift that you gave to Miss Woolley wasn't public.
No, but like I said, I'm not a monster. I'm not this evil person you're trying to make me to be. I know that she cared. I mean, we both did. You don't get into a contractual relationship with somebody for 4 years if you're not, but I'm not evil. It was private.
No further questions.
No redirect? Just that Mr. Nichols be able to take a seat.
You may.
Appreciate it.
I think that brings us to the end of the round today, right?
Yeah.
Alright, great.